What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 25th C++ tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking to you guys about a really cool feature of C++, not only C++, this is basically in all computer programming languages, but it's called the switch statement. And the switch statement in your computer programming career is going to save you a whole lot of time and headaches. So let me give you guys an example of when you would use this. Say you have a variable like age and you want to test the age of a user, and you had a bunch of different like statements you wanted to print out depending on how old they were. So if they were 16, you would say, congratulations, here's a new car since you can drive now. If they were 18, you would say, go buy a lottery ticket. If they were 21, you would say, go buy some beer. So you have all these different values that you could apply to the same variable. So with our knowledge so far, we can build a program like this doing this. If age equals 16, let's go ahead and type our body, and then after this, if age equals this, yada yada, if age equals that, and that, and that. Well, all those if statements are getting pretty old, so wouldn't it be cool if we could combine this all in kind of a compact statement? Well, it would be cool, but unfortunately we can't. So on with the next tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'm just kidding. We actually can do this, and that is through the use of something called a switch statement. Now, in order to use a switch statement, here is what you do. Type the word switch. Now, in parentheses right after that, write the variable that you want to test. Well, we want to test the value of age, so go ahead and type age right in there. Now, after this, go ahead and add the body to your switch statement. Now inside your body, you're going to give it all the values which you think age is equal to. And we're going to be giving it in the form of cases. So pretty much we're saying this. In case they enter 16, but don't write in case, it's only case. So in the case of 16, and then write a colon. Now after this colon, you write whatever statements you want your computer programming to perform, or computer program to perform. You're the computer programmer, this is computer programming. There, I got it straight in my brain. So in case the value of age equals 16, let's just go ahead and put something stupid out on the screen like cout, hey, you can drive now. And go ahead and end line, why not? And after this, add a keyword that says break. Now, I'm going to be talking about break later on because it's easier if I make the whole program first before I talk about it. Now after this, we can write something like, alright, what if the case is 18? Then what are we going to print out then? Cout on the screen, go buy some lotto tickets, because you can do that at 18. Now end line, and of course after this, add that break statement that we don't know what it does yet, but we will. And let's go ahead and give it one more case, why not? In the case of 21, the best one, let's go ahead and cout, buy me some beer, and go ahead and end that line. So now you can see through the use of this switch statement, it basically saved us the trouble and the time of making a bunch of different if statements. So instead of three different if statements, we only had one switch, and we just tested a bunch of different cases. So the last thing is default, and what default means is if none of these cases were true, if they entered a value like 2 or something like that, it ran through all these cases. Was it equal to 16? Nope. 18? Nope. 21? Nope. So what do you want me to perform by default? And of course, you don't need like default 2 because it doesn't have a value. It just, if all of these values failed, then what do you want me to do by default? By default, we'll just write cout, sorry, you get nothing, because 16, 18, and 21, that's where the important stuff happens. Everything else is just a birthday. So let's go ahead and end that line. And one thing you might notice, whenever you build and run this, you're saying, alright, sorry you get nothing because you're 2, but before you go ahead and build and run this, why didn't I add a break at the end of default? And what exactly is break? Well, this break keyword right here pretty much means end the switch. So you're saying, alright, why would I want to end it? Why doesn't it just keep going through the rest of the stuff? Well, the reason you had break after each case is because of this. Say you had 16 and you wanted to test it. We know that whenever it ran, it printed out, hey, you can drive now, and that's because we tested age, and age is equal to 16. So in our first case, it say, hey, this is a match. Let's go ahead and run this bit of code right here. So since we got a match in our first case, there's no need to test this one, and we're not going to run the default because this is the only one we want to run right here. So what break says is break this switch. It pretty much saves your program the trouble of having to run through the rest of these cases because it's not going to be useful to run through the rest of them as soon as you found a match. So let's go ahead and say we had 18 in there. What we would do is it runs it and it prints out, go buy some lotto tickets. Since we have that break in there, it did this. Alright, in the case of 16, nope, you're 18. In the case of 18, bingo, we have a match. So let's go ahead and print out go buy some lotto tickets and break out of this loop. So no need to test 21 and no need to use the default. Since we broke out of it, we found our match. So again, what break does is it basically saves you from going through the rest of the loop. And why do I not have one at the end of default? Because by the time we get to the end of default, it's at the end of the switch anyways, so why would you need to break out of it if you're just going to exit out of it after the default anyways? So that is basically a switch statement. It basically takes a variable and tests the value against each one of its cases. 16, 18, 21. If it isn't any of those values, it runs the default. Now I have 3 cases in this example, but you can have 1, you can have 1,000, you can have 1,000,000 if you want. And yeah, that's all. So anyways, that is how a switch works, and that is what break is. And I just want to mention one more thing before I let you guys go. Break, I'm using it in this example of a switch, but it's a keyword that we're going to be coming across a lot in C++ programming, not only with switch. So whenever you see it later on, whenever we're doing, just regular loops or something, I just want to let you guys know it isn't only limited to the switch statement. We can actually use this all throughout C++. So whenever you come across it, they'll be like, hey, isn't a switch supposed to go around that? Because we're not. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Understand the switch, and once you do, you're ready to move on to my next video. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.